Good morning everyone. I'm filming this video because if I'm being really honest, it's consuming me. And not only that, my fear has now turned into anger. At first, I didn't want to make a fuss out of it, to be honest with you. But by not speaking on it, it kind of lurks in the background undetected. Because when I tell you what happened last night to me, it's really shook me up and made me think about things and being aware of where I am and my surroundings. Okay, so let me just tell you what happened last night. So it's Monday morning when I'm filming this. I've got a face full of makeup on because I didn't really sleep very well last night. I've got the biggest coffee, so you might want to go and grab a cup of tea and come and have a sit down and a chat with me throughout this video. I'll try and not make it too long, but I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me last night. So last night, Sunday evening, at about 5:30, after a full day of renovations in the house, me and hubby have been working really hard on the house. As you all know, if you're new here, we're renovating. So we've lived in this area now for a month as I'm filming this video. And I've been walking the dog every day in the woods, like totally carefree, enjoying nature, loving life. A normal, everyday thing, right? I do it every day, nothing out of the ordinary, like I said, and off we popped into the woods. Now, I left my phone at home. Rookie error. Don't leave your phone when you're going out for a walk into nature, girls. Do not leave your phone. I think if I'd have had my phone, it might have helped. If I was really in danger and scared, I could have obviously called 999 or, alerted someone. Or like just got on the phone to someone and talked to them while I was like trying to get away, or even took video footage of the person, you know, or any suspicious goings on. Also, before anyone presumes, because some people on YouTube like to just presume things, before you presume I was walking in a really like rural, like wooded area all by myself on a Sunday night. Before you presume that, the woods that I'm talking about where we live are really, really busy usually. There's a big house in there, they do weddings at, there's kids that play in there, the locals love these woods, plenty of dog walkers, they do events in the woods. Normally there's always somebody in the woods. Also, when I say evening, Sunday evening, it was 5:30 in the evening, so it's light still, you know, it's tea time-ish, so it's not like I'm in the dark in the woods at night. I love you. Ralphie's been by my side. Isn't it funny how dogs, like, they know, don't they, something's up with you? Like my other dog did as well. Before Ralphie, we used to have a big bull mastiff. Side note, he was called Kane, the biggest dog in the world, and then after him we got the smallest dog in the world, a Chihuahua. But anyway, Kane was lovely. He was a big gentle giant, like a gentleman dog, and yeah, he was a bull mastiff. And I remember once finishing a day at work and I came home and I was just so overwhelmingly sad about whatever was going on in my life at the time, and I came home and I just sobbed and cried in the kitchen. I was on my own in the house. And Kane, my dog, Kane like sat next to me and started like crying his eyes out with me, and we were both just sat there crying around. And they're like truly angels sent from above dogs, aren't they? I just love them. God bless Kane. R.I.P. Kane. We'll see him one day. And same with Ralphie today. He's like stuck to me like glue. Anyway, so last night I took a particular route from the main road, nothing like, you know, lurky. I went from the main road down the big drive, like an actual driveway. Cars come up and down it when they do weddings there. The driveway then leads into the woods, and in the woods is the first thing you come across in that entrance is the big house at the bottom. And there's no point me explaining much more of the area, so I've drawn a diagram because I've drawn the police a diagram last night, so I'll use the diagram to show you, like I showed them, what exactly happened. It's just so you can understand a little bit better. Okay, so this is the little diagram that I had to draw for the police. And so just so you understand the area, this is where it happened. So this is the main road. I walked into the woods, down this driveway. There's a bridge here connecting two pathways, stream in the middle, and a bridge at the other side there of the house. That's the big house to do weddings at, the main house. And as you can see, everywhere else it's just trees because we're in the woods, don't forget. So I walked down here, I got around here just after the first bridge on this pathway here, and this is where I first spotted him. So I realised quite quickly there were no one, once I'd got here, there was nobody in the woods. It is so unusual for no one to be in these woods, like I can't even explain it. So as I'm here thinking, there's no one in these woods, I get this feeling, this gut feeling that something's wrong. So I turned around to scope my surroundings and I looked behind me, and around here, coming down the drive, roughly, I spotted him. He saw me spot him and I don't know, he started to loiter a little bit as if he was just going to hang back until I'd carried on walking down here and into the woods. My plan was to walk along this pathway and right into the woods. If I'd have done that, you guys, I would have found it really hard to get out of the woods if he was a predator. So I didn't know what to do. I carried on walking all the way down here thinking, shit. My heart was pumping out my chest, blah, blah, blah. What do I do? How do I get back out? He's following me this distance the whole way. Well, I get here and he's just coming up to this bridge here at this point. And I thought to myself, which way are you going to go? Are you going to go over there? Let me see. And I thought to myself, let me see if he's following me. I'm going to pretend to walk over this bridge and back that way, right, to get out. If he doesn't come that way, and he goes this way, I can just get back out that way. So if he does come this way, I can then come back on myself and get out that way. So keeping the stream between us. So I started loitering with the dog, having a wee, across this bridge. And he was here, like I said. So he thought I was going over that bridge. He went over this bridge. So therefore, we would have crossed paths here in front of the house. So as I'm walking across this bridge, pretending, he started making his way across this bridge. And I thought, shit, he's following me. I just knew it, guys. I just knew it. Then I still thought it could be a coincidence, but you still need to get the hell out of here. So as he got over here and he already started along this path up here, I quickly turned around and backtracked on myself and came back down this pathway and thought, I'm going to get out here, right? As I'm walking down there, we crossed paths here and here across from each other, but I managed to keep the stream, obviously, between us. So I felt safe-ish if I kept distance between us. So I panicking inside, I just carried on along this path. I got back to about here, across to this bridge. I kept turning round. He's all the way coming down here at this point. And then this is where it gets really scary. So as I'm here, about to reach the driveway, which curves and bends, right, by the way, he crosses the bridge and I thought, right, you've come in here, so you're going to go that way surely, right? If you're not following me, you're going that way. If you're following me, you're going to come back on yourself and follow me some more, aren't you? Guess what, guys? He came across that bridge and then started his way that way towards me again. At this point, I absolutely shit a brick. Excuse my French. I was here, like I said. I started stomping so fast towards up this driveway, which is really steep, by the way, and I am so unfit, which we're going to work on, but we'll talk about that later. And I got here I got halfway up the drive and I just legged it so fast back out of that exit. My throat was burning. So basically, I showed what happened here to the police, and like I said, there was no way. Why would he do that unless he were following me? And the police officer said, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he were following you, especially at this point when he turned on himself again. Because I said, like, the first time could have been a coincidence. He could have just been going that way. Like, you can't prove it, can you? Because no crime's been committed. How can you stop someone from following you? They might say, I'm not following you, and you know full well they are. And because they haven't committed a crime, there's nothing you can bloody do about it. It's so frustrating. Anyway, she said, absolutely, we think you were following you. So that's what happened, and that's my little diagram. I hope that made sense, you guys. So as you can imagine, I have never been so scared in my whole entire life. My throat was burning. It was burning from running up that driveway, because it's like up a steep hill, the drive. I walked down it into the house, near the house, and then back up it. Obviously, I ran out of the entrance. So do you know when you're having a dream, like the dreams where you're trying to run away from someone and your legs won't move fast enough? That's what I felt like in the moment. My heart was beating out of my chest. My throat was burning. I am so unfit as well, guys. It's actually made me think I am so unfit that I need to work on my fitness just in case something like that happens again. Luckily, I noticed that the man following me, he had a bit of a gut, a bit of a beer belly. He wasn't fat, but he was well built and he had a bit of a beer belly and he looked unfit. So I'd already gauged the situation in the woods and thought, if you keep enough distance between you and him, you can run back to that road. Like, as if we're having to think like that, though, as if. So I got home and I was like really shaken up. Adrenaline was pumping through the roof. My heart was beating out of my chest. Ash was like, "Are you all right?" Obviously, I told him what happened. He was like, "You can imagine." I just couldn't believe what had just happened. The audacity. Anyway, I was sat there trying to get my breath back for a good hour and just processing what had just happened. I just couldn't believe it, what had just happened. And I still can't today, although I'm more angry today than like shaken up and upset. Anyway, I jumped on last night. I jumped on my Instagram stories and I just briefly explained that I've just been followed in the woods by a bloody man. And then I explained that I know for a fact he was following me because I tricked him and to see if he was, and he flipping well was, for sure. There's no two ways about it. Anyway, the influx of messages from all of you guys and all my ladies on Instagram as well, I've just been influxed with messages, obviously asking if I'm okay. So I suppose this video can address that. Yeah, I'm alright. I've not managed to get through all of the messages, but what I did notice was a lot of girls and ladies and women were scared, also shared it's scaredness, also shared a fear of going out and doing daily normal bloody things that we should be allowed to just do. And then also, there were quite a few stories of other people who have had like similar situations, and it's really made me think, because you just don't think about things like that until it's happened to you, do you? Like, ignorance is bliss until it happens to you. And I'm just totally shocked, actually, of how many other people that's like similar situations have happened to. Like, one girl were explaining in my messages that she likes to run, and she was running in the woods and some car stopped next to her, and like she got a really bad vibe and she felt really like, you know, like cornered and alone, and she had to like leg it into a field or something in a different direction. And oh my god, imagine having to do that. Like, she was saying like her heart was pumping out of her chest, and like I could totally relate because mine was as well. So yeah, thanks for all your messages of support and like seeing if I'm okay and things like that, and sharing your own stories, because I just felt really comforted by someone who could relate to me in that moment, you know. But like I said at the start of this video, today now I've slept on it, well, say slept, I hardly slept, because your mind just starts playing overtime. You start thinking, was that a one-off, or had he been following me for a while? Because now I come to think about it, you know, I think he may have followed me from the main road into the woods and stayed well back, because maybe he knew that it's quite a busy wood, and he stayed well back to see me go into the wood. If I'd have carried on, you guys, past that house and into the actual woods, it would have been really hard for me to get away. And that in itself is the scariest thought ever. So obviously overnight things have just been playing on my mind, like, how long has he been following me for? Like, is this a one-off? Like, your mind just your imagination really takes over and starts to like play overtime, and it's quite scary. Like I said, I've had hardly any sleep. I am so angry today. I can't even explain how angry I am that someone can do that to somebody else. Like, as if a woman can't go about her normal business, day-to-day life, normal ordinary things that everybody else does, without the fear of being followed, raped, mugged, murdered. I mean, you just have to look at cases, recent cases as well, like Sarah Everard going about her daily bloody business, and Nicola Bulley, which is more on my doorstep up here in the north. It's just, it's frightening. It's flipping frightening. It's a big bloody problem, isn't it, for women everywhere? For every woman everywhere. It's a problem being a woman. So I was with the police last night. I obviously reported it, and I can't commend the police, local police, enough. They've been absolutely brilliant. I made the report online because it wasn't an emergency threat. I was already back home, etc. But I had to report it for obvious reasons. It could have been following somebody else, or I just couldn't live with the thought that if I didn't say anything, then it could have hurt somebody after that, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So obviously I reported it to the police. Like I said, they've been absolutely brilliant. They were calling me immediately just to make sure that I was all right and okay and out of the situation, which obviously I said I was. And then on the phone they was like, we're not satisfied that you're okay just yet. Can we please come round to the house and just make sure you're safe and well, to do a welfare check? And I said, absolutely. Yeah, they made me feel so safe. Obviously I gave a statement and description extra to them, and we just sat having a chat really. I drew the diagram and showed them exactly what I meant, how I knew that guy was following me, and she was like, oh absolutely, he was following you. So they took the description. They did say obviously we're going to check the area for CCTV and things like that, and we'll do like extra patrols around the area as well. And yeah, I just want to thank the local police in my area, actually. Shout out to them because they made me feel so safe. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm just really tired because I didn't sleep much last night, and I'm just really annoyed today. Like I said, I'm just so annoyed that we can't do things, because like that's ruined it for me now. Like, how long am I going to be going on a dog walk now worrying about myself, well, my own welfare? Like, I mean, and can we even protect ourselves? How do we protect ourselves? Like, I need to research more into how can we protect ourselves. Like, say I was carrying something out of fear of being like, I don't know, like mugged or raped or bloody murdered even. Say I were carrying my own weapon just to defend myself with, and then like I used it on a person like that. If they tried to grab me, like, would I get done for that? I don't know, but I will be stepping up my security, so to speak. I'm going to research and learn how to keep safe while I'm out and about. If you've got any recommendations and stories, please leave them down below. Like I said, I don't want to scare anybody, but I think we should share all our information and resources. What's that saying? Like, you need to know the enemy. Like, I need to understand the enemy. I need to understand the dangers so that I can protect myself from it. Same for you guys. So leave all your stories or how to keep safe, tips on how to keep safe while you're out and about, running, dog walking, whatever you're doing. Do you know what's really funny? Well, it's not funny, but do you know what's really weird? I was actually planning on doing a sit-down video. It was actually about fashion, because we love fashion on this channel as well, don't we? But yeah, I was planning on doing a video about luxury fashion. Sorry, the dark side of luxury fashion, out of an experience that I experienced just recently. It wasn't anything significant. Well, since this has happened, this is a whole new ball game for me. I, like a lot of girls and women, have a love of luxury designer handbags and shoes and just things like that, really. It's like a really girly thing, isn't it, to be interested in. I was just walking near the town centre, near the mall, where I always go, and I just felt really uneasy this one time. I had my designer bag with me. I felt very aware that all of a sudden, I was a target by carrying this handbag. and I started to feel really unsafe and uneasy, like people were looking at me because I had a designer handbag, and it sparked off a bit of a fear inside of me, really, about the dark side of having luxury goods. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I've saved up so much money to buy that handbag and wanted that handbag so much, and now I feel scared to carry it. Like, what's the point of having it if I can't wear it, or I feel unsafe when I wear it? It's just, what a weird concept. And like, I've heard really, really horror stories about women who have been shopping in Harrods and Selfridges in London, and they've been followed home after like buying a designer handbag. They've been followed to the cars, they've been followed home where they have the designer closets, and then the house is targeted for robberies. And then you've got the likes of Kim Kardashian and that robbery. She was targeted for her diamond ring, wasn't she? And she's high profile, she's got security. And then you've got Dorit Kemsley from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She was robbed. I think she was tied up and robbed, and her kids were in the house. Do you know what? I've even heard stories of a husband who had to carry his wife's Birkin through the streets of London for her because she was too scared to carry it herself out of the fear of being mugged. I've also heard of girls who have gone to buy the handbag, saved up for ages for it, gone to actually to the store to buy the handbags, so say Harrods, and they've took like an Aldi plastic carrier bag with them to put the handbag in so that they could walk back to the car with it without being targeted. Make it make sense. Guys, it's not even worth it, is it? Because these people will do anything to get these bags off you and things like that. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, because not only do you have to be rich to bloody afford these luxury items all the time, imagine the security that you feel like you need to have just in order to have them. It's not worth it, you guys. And I think that's probably where the movement of like quiet luxury comes from, you know, like no logos, absolutely like minimal logo, minimal design. Yeah, maybe that's where the quiet luxury movements come from, and I get it, I totally get it. Anyway, you guys, I've gone off on a tangent again there, but basically what the point I was trying to make with that is, it doesn't matter if you're carrying a luxury bag or not. You can be just walking your dogs in the flipping woods and get targeted. And I feel incredibly sad and angry about it. Ladies and gents, thanks for watching this video. Please be aware and alert and safe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.